At this moment, audience, you definitely won't believe what just happened. Nikola's performance took a dramatic turn, and his beloved violin became collateral damage, and everyone was stunned as soldiers dragged Nikola away, and the Count was too petrified to move. It seemed external forces were also responding. With the bang of a gun, elegance turned into an instant ghost story. The bold official was clearly waiting for this moment. The Count sure is in a pickle. The Count thought he was being clever, only to lose evidence. Luck is a rare guest, and every corner seems to have a spy now. Escaping this place is harder than climbing a mountain. After Nikola's demise, Count Rostov began to lose hope, only to find a secret room behind his wardrobe. The roof blown apart became a secret hideout for the Count and little Nina. It's like a Renaissance hidden corner. He grabbed some old boards and became a handyman, turning the place into a cozy retreat with Nina. It's like extreme makeover over here. Compared to the guard posts, this place is far worse, yet he sleeps like a baby. Bold official dropped a bombshell on the Count, inquiring about his connection to the revolutionary Moscow. Talk about an awkward question. Looking down at the crowd, the Count and Nina were unknowingly trapped in a test. Who knew stopping Moscow from marrying his sister would turn into a disgrace? Subtitles. Moscow obviously knew something and intended to press for answers. But the Count is definitely not the kind of person who would stab others in the back. The bald guy left some threats for the Count, reminding him to think about his situation. What's the difference between living and dying, right? While casually wandering the hotel, the Count spotted Moscow taking a beating at the bar. He panicked, stripping off his coat and asking folks to keep an eye on. Oh my, such a rush of anxiety. The Count still followed and prepared to save the day himself. Ridiculous. Two old classmates reunited, even while beating each other up. Friendship is reignited in the most touching way. However, their ideological clash left them ending on a sour note. Different identities equal weak connections. Just as the Count was about to strike up a cheer, a daytime star asked him for drinks, turning it into a fleeting evening. But this wasn't your ordinary drinking party. Hearing Nina would start school after New Year, he was heartbroken. Bold official seems to have a soft spot for the Count, constantly bugging him about Moscow's whereabouts. What about? The Count resolutely reiterated he won't betray friends, but Christmas Eve marked his last dinner with Nina. She specially prepared a gift, asking him to open it after midnight. The parting was especially heart-wrenching. The Count felt a deep struggle within, like a bittersweet farewell, with emotions all over the place. Count's mind was filled with a myriad of thoughts about goodbye, feeling as though this farewell might last an eternity. Soon, Moscow invited the Count to a festive banquet, opening a completely new world for him. This simple feast brought no extravagance, just pure joy that engulfed the heart, making history feel effortless in comparison. While alcohol can soothe temporarily, reality comes knocking afterward. The Count's survival relied heavily on Moscow's juggling. Seems like bro friendships run deep. They embraced like brothers once more. Their unspoken understanding was just phenomenal. Brothers embraced warmly once again. Their chemistry caught everyone's eye. Midnight approached, and a surprise awaited the Count. When the Count opened Nina's gift, it was the magical key to open all hotel doors. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Oh my!" The moment the key shone, the Count thought of that locked door and flung it open madly. Outside, the chill wind blew, but the sunlight pouring in made the Count feel only excitement and freedom. 4 years have passed by, and this current year is like a nightmare to the Count. What an utterly bizarre display. All the signs disappeared, which was terrifying. Over 4 years, the Count bonded with every staff, reminiscing about the old Nina. Now, Nina is more charming than ever, making one nostalgic for that mischievous little girl. Sadly, the authorities still kept a close watch on these noble exiles. Lyshika also brought bad news. His grandmother had passed. Subtitles. Nowadays, the Rostov family has been reduced to only the Count, who flips through memories with boundless emotions in his heart. He pulled out his last assets to prepare a farewell for his grandmother, but surely, In today's climate, this was nearly a death wish. Times it could be said that he summoned up his courage, largely owing to a conversation with the bald-headed Orseb. The Count's father once dedicated himself to teaching and nurturing talents who held promising futures ahead. There were 2 doctor's kids and another from a mathematician's family, all thinking they had rights. Until they parted ways, the truth remained hidden. They were all discarded beings. Why do you want to meet me, and how do you know my background? You were once a soldier, and after the war, you climbed up the ranks. How do you know? It's a man's business to determine another man's status. What else? Just have the Tokyo guy eat and drink well, with a bottle of strawberry wine. Because he was a soldier? No, because he lost his home. In my house, we shared a bottle of stately wine. For those special occasions, we often keep an eye on them. But to understand these people, we need to do much more homework. How are you preparing to help me? Starting today, we can meet and talk. What will you teach me? Great answer. Anna warned the Count this was way too risky, practically a suicide mission, and indeed, nobody dared to show up at the banquet.